Hey everyone, my name is Todd Bigelow. For the past 30 years, I've been a freelance photographer based primarily out of Los Angeles, an adjunct professor of photography and photojournalism, and a soon-to-be author on a book on freelance business practices. This is 2 Minutes with Todd, where I break down business topics that freelancers face on a near daily basis. Let's get into it. Let's talk about pitching photo projects today. For a few minutes, I want to address a way in which I think you can successfully pitch some of your projects. But first, I want to make sure that you understand there's basically two, times in which you can pitch a project. One is before you've actually shot the project. So you're pitching the idea for the project. I'm not fond of that. Okay, I think that you're opening up opportunities for those that you pitch to, perhaps take that idea and produce it on their own, maybe assign it somewhere else. It has happened to me in the past, but I personally prefer to take an idea, produce that project. In other words, go out and shoot the whole project, and then pitch the completed project to publications at that stage. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about. So the first thing I do is I'm going to obviously identify something that I want to go out and shoot as a project. I'm going to research it. I'm going to go out, spend time shooting it, giving the proper time to complete it. So that's something that might not necessarily get if you're having somebody else accept your idea and then tell you that, okay, we need this, we'll give you a couple of days to shoot it and we need it by the end of the week or whatever the case might be. When I'm producing it on my own, I'm going to shoot that project until I feel like I've executed it to the level, that is satisfactory for me, that I feel it's completed and it's ready to be pitched and published. So that allows me to retain total control. And that's pretty much how I've done almost all of my projects, dating back to the 90s with immigration stuff. I want to control that work and produce it till I feel like it's ready for publication. Once it is ready for publication, I do a couple of things. One, all the images are going into an unlisted photo gallery on my photo shelter site. It's not out there for anybody to see. Only somebody with a link can see that gallery. So the images that I feel are worthy for publication go into that gallery, right? They're already there. I make that pretty much the first step so that I have all of those images in one place. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually write up a pitch. I like to write my pitches in a short story format. So just like you would read. And some of my, projects have been published with my pitch, with my story, written by me. I like to do it that way because I feel like it allows me to kind of control the narrative a little bit. I include supporting documentation in the pitch that might, get the client to, take it a little bit more seriously. Perhaps I'm including a link to a different publication that wrote a similar story of some kind or some research that I came across. So I'm making this pitch based on some facts that will help support my narrative. Once I've done that, I'm going to write that in a Word document. But now I'm going to go another step. I go on my blog and I'm going to create a new post. That post will not be public. It will only be for client viewing, which again, you need a link for. I'm going to write my topic there, my story there, my pitch. And I'm going to include my preferred images. There might be a dozen, 15, maybe 20, whatever the case might be. I'm going to lay out my images, my preferred images for the project in large, format, the largest images that'll fit on the post, and design it a little bit and give it a nice headline. And I'm going to take that link and I'm going to use it in the email that I pitched to a client. So now I have a Word document just with the basic pitch, the word pitch to it, and a link that they can click on and see some of the images run large and the words to accompany it. Now I'm going to find out who the pitch would be, well suited for. So I'm going to find which publication, which online client might be interested in this topic. Make sure you do some research. You don't want to pitch something to somebody that just runs something like that. Okay, so Take time, do a little bit of research. If you don't have a relationship with that client yet, that's fine. I've been successful in pitching, to cold clients, to people I've never worked with before. But you have to do a little bit of research to find out not only if they've run something similar, but if it's right for them. Perhaps they have a section, on their site that you feel like it would be well suited for, and you would reference that in your email pitch. You're going to need to find out who the photo editor is, or creative director, or, digital manager, whoever, might be the recipient for your email. In that email, keep it very concise. Get right to the point as to why you're reaching out to them with this story project proposal. Make sure that you include as an attachment the Word document. Again, that should be short and concise. I then include the link to my blog post and I reference it with, if you'd like to see images laid out with the story format, with the story included, please click on this link. It's for client viewing only. These images have not been published. And then I want to draw on one more point. When I'm shooting projects, I'm not putting my images out on social media. I'm not letting anybody know, with the exception of perhaps, my agency, and I'm blessed to be a contributor to Contact Press. But I don't put those images out on social media or let anybody know pretty much what I'm working on. Once it's completed, then I'm going to make the pitch. Again, I'm going to make sure they understand these are unpublished. Now, when I pitch, I have a choice. Again, I'm very fortunate to be able to collaborate with a wonderful director at Contact Press, who oftentimes will take the pitch and run with it and take it to publications. And he's very successful at that. And I'm very fortunate to have that opportunity. Sometimes I do pitch on my own. And when I do it in the way in which I just described. Okay? Keep in mind that you will not always be successful. It's just not possible. Okay, so you need to, go in with a realistic, idea of getting it published, and find the right home for it, and hopefully you'll be successful. I've been successful several times this year, having projects published on NBC News' website, on Politico, and on Vox. But I've also had other projects that have not been successfully pitched and published at this point. They've been shot, but they haven't been published. That's just the nature of how it works. So keep that in mind. Don't get down about it, and don't be deterred. That's, you need to get out and you need to shoot these things and see if you can find a home for them. Follow the pitching idea that I've brought up here today, and hopefully you'll be able to control your work, control the project from beginning to end, and then make a pitch to a client. And if you're successful, you'll be able to get some licensing fees for that work. Good luck. Get out there shooting with it, and hopefully you'll be successful with your pitch.